Almost exactly 80 years ago, William Ralph Dixie Dean set an incredible scoring record that in all probability will never be broken. His hat-trick against Arsenal, 5th of May 1928. It meant he had scored, wait for this, 60, that's 60 goals in a league season, and that from just 39 games. Now, what makes it even more remarkable is that just 2 years earlier, he was told by doctors he would never play football again because of a motorbike accident. Now, a group of Liverpool filmmakers are attempting to bring Dixie's story to film, and with me now is the director, or the man who hope he'll be directing all this. That's Eamonn Lysaght. Eamonn, good morning to you.
Morning, Eamonn.
I want to put this in context. I mean, I've heard of Dixie Dean. Sam heard of Dixie Dean?
I've, yeah.
Graham, yes. Lindsay?
Yeah, heard of him.
Have you, yes?
Yep.
Andy, yeah, right. Who is he, though? Bill Shankly said of Dixie Dean, he belongs in the company of the supremely great. Where do you hear this? Like Beethoven, Shakespeare and Rembrandt. Fair assessment, Ian, or how is he remembered
They
today?
all played for Real Madrid, right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I think I think Shankly underrates him, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What, more like God?
Well, you know, as an Evertonian, yeah.
Yeah. So listen, give me his era. Let's spell this out. So we're going back to the late 1920s.
Yeah, the jazz era. You know, it's booming times all over America and Europe, but at the time football was still very much a working class game. Didn't really make it into the mass media or the newspapers. The Times didn't really write about it at the weekend. There was no sports sections in the national newspapers. It was very much, the people of that area were obsessive about it, and it was just as big as the Premiership is today. But there was no
I can feel
Sky
the
Sports.
filmmaker. Well, no Sky Sports. I can
know.
feel the filmmaker and you coming across the jazz era and whatever.
Yeah.
How do you envisage this? How do you see this? Although you say no Sky Sports and all that sort of thing, would he still have been regarded as a star, as a special one?
Most definitely, yeah. He appeared on more cigarette cards than any other footballer in the world. He was known around Europe and the world, and Babe Ruth had heard of him because the season Babe Ruth got 60 home runs was the season.
Yeah.
Dixie got the 60 goals, but the difference was Babe Ruth was on a take of the gate, a percentage of what they got at the gate. Dixie was on £8 a week with a bonus of £1 for a goal, which they'd leave in his boots.
Talking about boots, Ian's brought boots from the era. They're not actually Dixie's boots, are they?
Yeah.
Clunk those down on the table so people hear how heavy they are. And maybe describe those, or Sam, you could describe them maybe
To me, they're like a sort of. I mean, you can't believe that people play football then, because they're kind of leather. They're a suede.
weapons.
They're a suede boot, almost like a desert boot, but with a nice leather stitched toe cap, rather like a fashion shoe that you could imagine young hipsters like Andy wearing out on the town.
On the town?
You'd wear that out on the town, wouldn't you?
Maybe
Does that
to go
pass for
hiking.
fashion? Hiking. But you can see that he must have scored those goals. He scored 60 toe punts, it was, wasn't it?
You wouldn't want to stop
There's no
those, would
finesse.
you?
Graham's wearing the exact same shoes.
The era.
Same age. What about the achievements? 60 goals in the season. We're talking. I mean, we're all raving about Ronaldo and Drogba and people who nudge towards that 30 goal mark.
We interviewed. We've already started doing some interviews for the doc, and we interviewed Mark Lawrence a week or two ago, and he came up with an interesting thing, and he said, well, the problem with the 60 is people just tend to put a line under it and forget it, and it's like the record doesn't count because it's so far away from what people can get. He got 40 with his feet and 20 with his head, and he scored 100 that year in all competitions.
Yeah. Isn't it spooky that Everton are playing Arsenal again this weekend? Almost 80 years on from this, and you are a Blue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How's he revered amongst Everton fans? How is he seen there?
He's a colossus. Just it stands above the club. Almost everything that Everton stands for to its fans derives from them days. When they were the days of Dixie Dean and people like that. He wasn't just an individual. He did play in a great side. There was other great players, and Warnie Cresswell stands out as one of the one of the greatest centre halves of all time.